Hi, this is Matthias from John Cipollone's. Today we are at one of our customers' houses in Newtown Square. We replaced his existing air conditioning system with a heat pump. He has an oil furnace, so he was looking for some savings on the oil side of things. So we're going to talk to him and walk through the project. Come on. We are here with Matt Byrne, one of our customers. We installed a heat pump in his house. Matt, thanks for taking the time. Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So when I came to your house a couple months back, it was the height of the summer, right?
Yeah.
I remember very hot in here. Your air conditioning system didn't work. What was your cause to call us?
Well, my wife and I were shopping around for someone to help us out, not just get the house cool, but do it in a way that made sense to us. So we had gotten a few quotes and didn't feel as though our house was being sized appropriately. We were being kind of sold on a single choice, and we were really impressed. We called you, and before we even talked about units, measurements were being taken. You really got a sense of what our need was, and as new homeowners, it was really helpful to have an expert's guidance through that.
Okay. We discussed a couple of things. One of them was you have an oil system here, right?
Yes.
I don't believe there's gas on the street at all.
Yeah, we were only really had that single option, which with gas prices rising and uncertain in the future,
sure,
it put us in a tight bind. Obviously, we're pretty cost sensitive, new homeowners,
sure,
and a mortgage, but at the same time, we're planning to be here and we want to do really what's best for us in the future, not just obviously for the environment, but also for our savings in our pocketbook.
Sure. So one of the things that we discussed was instead of just replacing the air conditioning system, we can basically change the outdoor unit and make it a heat pump. Nothing different involved as far as the installation is concerned. What benefits did you see about the heat pump versus just going straight air conditioning?
Well, once the heating and cooling demands of the house were determined, it was pretty easy to follow along with your cost calculator that you provided. While it does get cold on occasion, you look at temperature charts going back, and we do live in a climate that really has possibilities of having heat pump meeting our needs heading into winter or coming out of winter. And even at conservative estimates, we would be earning back the savings on the heat pump within just a few years. I think it was somewhere around 2 years.
2.5 years.
30 months, somewhere in there. Yep. So that's quite convincing for us. And then also to have that flexibility, say we were to ever add solar or, heating gases became even more expensive, which who knows? And having that as a second option, and shout out to Jalen too, when on the install, he really showed me the ways in which you can change that temperature depending on, say, price of fuel goes way up, and you may want your heat pump to kick on, at a less efficient temperature, but you're still saving money.
Yeah. So obviously, with the uncertainties, it's great to have that backup option of the heat pump. If you can cut 20% on your oil, you can do the math, right? I mean, it's phenomenal.
We were using quite a bit of oil, and to have really the core of our efficiency being overhauled, this system really was installed in a way that I'm convinced it's going to last us for quite some time.
Yeah. One of the things you also pointed out to me, the room we're sitting in right now was kind of cold over here, so we did some duct changes that we're going to look at downstairs. And I know we haven't been in heating season, but as far as cooling is concerned, have you found that the changes we made improved this area?
Oh, absolutely. Especially just visible marks of condensation, and there was almost a draft emanating from this side of the house throughout the rest of the home. Right. And so you guys added a really streamlined way to deliver flow. And I'm excited to see what it will do in the winter. But definitely through cooling, it was noticeable.
Great. So here we are. We're in the basement. I wanted to show you some of the changes we made here. As we mentioned earlier, there was the rooms over there that was really uncomfortable. So we made a couple changes. There used to be a square duct that went this way, and it just wasn't streamlined. So we changed to individual runs that go in a crawl space. There are two vents. One comes out near the kitchen. One comes out in the sitting room. Those were the problem areas. So the connections were actually made inside the crawl space, but by bringing them out and actually tying them onto the plenum itself, we have a lot more control over those, and we can actually balance the airflow a little bit better. So essentially what we did here, we took a streamlined takeoff off the side. There's also one off the back, but what we did is we fed it with a bigger pipe so we can force more air into that duct, and then we reduced to a smaller pipe, which is what came out of the basement. So that forces more air in there and also keeps up velocity. When you go from something bigger to smaller, the velocity increases, helping it push further. So that's what really made the difference on that in that sitting room itself. But essentially, to be able to get the heat pump, it is the same type of cooling coil that we have here. The only thing that changes is the outdoor unit. So it's essentially an air conditioning system, but the component of the heat pump is actually outside. So you just change the outdoor unit and you don't do anything different, but now it provides heat. That's basically all I have. Matt, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for trusting me with this project. Hope to be your long-term HVAC provider.
Oh, absolutely, Matthias. Yeah. It's been our pleasure, and we feel in good hands, so we're looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you. Hey, thanks for watching. If this is something that you think be useful for your house, give us a call. Check us out online.